Hey everyone, in this video, we are going to find the employees who aren't managers. So we have two tables. We have employee table and then we have a manager table. So all we have to do is we have to find those employees who aren't managers. So what I mean to say is in the employee table, we have all the information of the employee. So we have employee ID and name. And then in the manager table, we have just one column that is employee ID. Okay, so here one that is Alice is a manager. Also, Charlie is a manager. So employees who aren't the managers are Bob, Dinah, and Edward. So this is what we are expecting. Okay, this is the expected output. Now here the solution for this particular question is very easy. It's no big deal, but there's a catch. So please make sure that you watch the whole video. So let's see how we can tackle this question. So I've created the employee table. I have inserted the data into the employee table. Then I have created the manager table and I have inserted the data into the manager table. Okay, so let me quickly show you the employee table first. So this is the employee table with two columns. And now let me show you the manager table also. Okay, perfect. So what we have to do is we have to find the employees who are not managers. So first we are querying the employee table. We are getting all the employees and then we are filtering the data. So how we are filtering the data? We are filtering the data using the subquery. So here this is a subquery where we are querying all the employee IDs that we have in the manager table. So basically this subquery is going to return 1 and 3. Okay. And then in this query, we are saying that, okay, in the employee table, whenever the employee ID is not 1 and 3. So that makes sense, right? So we are simply filtering the data of the employee table and we are removing all those employee IDs which are there in the manager table. So it's simple. So let me quickly execute it. Yes, perfect. So we have got the results. This is what we were expecting. Now there's one more way of doing this. Now here you can see that I have used left join. So what we have done is we have joined the two table. So this is the first table, the employee table, and then we have simply joined the managerial table also. So this is a manager table, let's say, and here you have the data of the manager table, data from the manager table. So here what you have joined it on the employee ID. Yep. So basically over here you'll get 1. Over here, you'll get 3 because we have 1 and 3. And here you'll get null, null, and null. So after joining, yeah, after performing this operation, we are going to get a data table like this. Okay. Now what we are doing is we are simply filtering it out. We are saying that where employee ID, this one, okay, this employee ID, we are talking about, okay. So where this employee ID is null. Why? Because we want to extract the employees who aren't managers. So if I execute this, it will work perfectly fine. So that's what we were expecting and that's what we have got. Okay, so I was talking about a catch. So let's quickly look into that catch. So what I'm going to do is in the manager table, I'm going to insert null also. Yep. So let me quickly execute the whole code. Okay. Now, if I quickly show you here, we also have null. Yeah, in the manager table, we also have null as the third row. Fine. So now if I execute this query, let's see what result we get. We are getting the null output. Now, what is the reason behind it? Why we are getting the null output? So let's dive into the logic. So in the manager table, we'll have one more row added, that is null. Okay, now we'll check for those employees who are not managers. So let's check for Bob. So 2 is not equal to 1, that's true. So this is going to result in true. Okay, 2 is not equal to 3, again that's true. So this will result in true. Fine. Now 2 is not equal to null. So I told you that whenever you try to compare null with any of the value, the result is unknown. So here we are getting the result as unknown. Now, as soon as we get the result as unknown, what we are getting in the output, final output, we are getting null. So it is not returning Bob in the final output. And the reason is very simple. When you're comparing any of the number or anything, when you're comparing any value with that of null, the output is unknown. And now if the output is unknown, it says that, okay, I do not know the answer, I do not know if it is true or false, so I'm going to give you unknown because I don't know. So if I don't know for this, I do not know for the whole table if Bob exists in the manager table or not. As simple as that. So I already told you that whenever you compare null with any value for that matter, the output is always unknown. I do not know. As simple as that. So always remember this golden rule whenever you try to solve the queries dealing with the null values. Okay, so let's see how we can solve it. So here all we have to do is we have to add a where condition where employee ID is not null. And now if I run it, it will give me the desired output. So what I have done over here is I am filtering all the managers with non-null value. So if I execute this, you'll get to see. Okay, so we have got the desired output. Okay, now let's look into the second solution. So here, let me quickly run this. So I've not made any changes to the query. I'm simply running it as it was. So here I go. Perfect. Still, we are getting the right output. Why is it so? So the reason is very simple. I also covered it in my previous video that when you try to join on the column which has null value, the nulls are ignored. As simple as that. You can watch the previous video in this playlist if you do not have much clarity on how SQL behaves when joined on the columns having the null value. So I hope you have understood the solution of this question. If you have any doubts, you can write it in the comment section. I'll try to answer it ASAP. Thank you so much for watching. Meet you in the next one.